So with that, I will call to order the May 11th meeting of the Utility Service Board. And we will start with, well, actually, remember, everybody stay on mute. To unmute, hit the space bar, or you can click the little microphone in the bottom left-hand corner. And this is also being broadcast live on Facebook. So if there are any members of the public that would like to speak during petitions and communications, please type your comments into Facebook Live, and we will read those during that portion of the meeting. So first on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the April 27th meeting. Are there any questions or discussion or amendments to the minutes? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Latrina, can you call the roll, please?
Hey, Bannock,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Kapler,
Yes.
Parmenter,
Yes.
and Burnham.
Yes.
All right, minutes are approved. Thank you. Next up is approval of the claims. First is the standard invoices in the amount of $674,070.32. Are there any questions or discussion on invoices? Hearing none, then I would entertain a motion for approval of the invoices.
So moved.
Second.
Latrina, can you please read the call?
Parmenter,
Yes.
Burnham,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Bannock,
Yes.
and Kapler.
Yes. All right, invoices are approved. Utility bills are next in the amount of $152,231.28. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion for approval of utility bills.
So moved.
Second.
Latrina, please call the roll.
Sherman,
Yes.
Burnham,
Yes.
Kapler,
Yes.
Parmenter,
Yes.
Bannock.
Yes.
All right, utility bills are approved. Next up are wire transfers in the amount of $500,066.26. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Latrina?
Kapler,
Yes.
Burnham,
Yes.
Bannock,
Yes.
Parmenter,
Yes.
Sherman.
Yes.
All right, wire transfers are approved. Customer refunds in the amount of $500.86. Any questions or comments on refunds? Then I would entertain a motion for approval of the refunds.
So moved.
Second.
Latrina, please call the roll.
Parmenter,
Yes.
Burnham,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Bannock,
Yes.
Kapler.
Yes. All right, refunds are approved. And finally, the special check run in the amount of $8,346 to cover stormwater fees and taxes. Are there any questions or discussion on this? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to approve this check run?
So moved.
Second.
Latrina, please call the roll.
Kapler,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Bannock,
Yes.
Parmenter,
Yes.
Burnham.
Yes.
All right, a special check run is approved. Next up is the consent agenda. And Vic, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm pleased to present tonight's consent agenda in the total amount of $39,910. The first contract is with Electric Plus for $8,430 to replace and reprogram relays at the Monroe Water Treatment Plant. The second is $2,500 to Precision Quality Contracting LLC to locate and map the fiber conduit at Dillman. The third is $25,000 to Michigan Disposal. This is disposal of one possible waste stream from the Griffey demolition plant that will either be TSCA or RCRA eligible. And the last is to Wessler Engineering for $2,980. This is PLC programming for the chlorine system and on-site startup support. If there's, is there any board member that would like to consider any of these items separately from the others? Hearing none, if there's no opposition from board members, these items will be approved as recommended by staff. Hearing no opposition, these items are all approved.
Oh,
Wait,
I
have a
see
question.
Mr. Sims.
Hello, everyone. No, I don't have a question, and being a board or not a board member, more ex officio, I probably don't have a right to suggest something comes off or not. I just need more explanation on D, if you will. Can you explain the chlorine system PLC and where is that located? Is that at one of our treatment plants?
I'm happy to. I don't know if this is the right moment. The board has approved the item, but I will just share with everyone that the chlorine system is for disinfection at the end of the Dillman plant after the filters.
Okay, thank you. It just didn't say everything else has the location. D did not, so I was just wondering that.
Okay. Yeah, it's in the filter building at the Dillman plant.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, moving on. Item 5 is the approval of Duke Energy easement on the Winston Thomas property for purposes of serving the BPT evidence garage. And Mike Carter is going to speak with us about this. No?
Yeah, I don't know if Mike's here. This is Chris Wheeler with City Legal. I'm happy to take this on for the board.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
A while back, this board approved the construction, the leasing of a parcel of property from the USB to the Bloomington Police Department on the Winston Thomas property. This little property is located adjacent to the existing Bloomington Police Department training facility. This new building is for evidence storage, as well as, I believe, some car maintenance, perhaps, as I recall. And so what this particular easement is intending to do is to allow Duke Energy to run its electrical services from the existing training facility over to this new evidence room. Before the board are 2 memos. One is from the Chief of Police, Michael Dekoff, expressing the need for this easement so that electricity can actually be serviced to this building. It's important that this building be climate controlled for proper preservation of evidence for criminal investigation and prosecution. And necessary for keeping batteries and whatnot hooked up to the vehicles that will be stored there. We believe this is an appropriate easement to grant. It runs from leased property, contiguous to leased property, and doesn't interfere with any CBU operations. We would ask that the board review and approve this easement for signatures so that the electricity can be installed for this building to become functional.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions for Chris or any discussion on this item? All right, I'm not seeing any. So with that, is there a motion to approve this easement?
So moved.
Second,
All right, and Latrina, please call the roll.
Okay. Kepler,
Yes?
Bannock,
Yes.
Burnham,
Yes.
Sherman,
yes,
Parmenter.
Yes.
All right. That is approved then. Next item, any old business from the board? All right, seeing none, any old business from staff?
None,
Yes, Vic?
none.
Oh, none? Okay, thank you. How about new business from the board? And any new business from staff? All right. I don't believe there were any subcommittees that met. Is that correct, Latrina?
That's correct. No subcommittee.
Okay. And staff reports, Vic Kelson.
Just a couple of things. The first one is that we are beginning the process of preparing the budget memo for 2021. So all the divisions are putting together their goals for that memo, and we will have to deliver the first draft this week. Plants continue to run well, and we have had no illnesses related to the COVID-19 pandemic. So so far we're doing just fine. Everyone seems to be healthy. The other thing is that as the city begins looking towards the future and reopening, we've advised and have been authorized to continue to keep walk-in customer service shut down with the idea that we can provide all the services online or by email, by phone, by mail, and payments can be received through the Dropbox. We're going to put an improved Dropbox in, and we're going to put a buzzer on the front door so that it can be open for visits by appointment. So if a customer service representative is talking with someone and they really feel that there's a need for face-to-face meeting, we can schedule that and let someone in. So the front area will be available for meetings by appointment, and there will be someone there to open the door for things like board meetings when we go back to having board meetings in the building. We've also begun the process of ordering furniture to rearrange the boardroom so that there can be 6 feet of spacing between each of the board members and each of the staff members that need to be there for the meetings. That room will also be the only meeting room that we use when members of the public are coming in, for example, pre-construction meeting with the contractors and so forth. So our objective will be to have no one other than employees going beyond the badge access doors. Anything else will happen either out in the customer service area or in the boardroom. So those are our plans for opening. If I'm open, I'd be happy to welcome any comments. So there might be from board members about that.
Vic.
Yeah.
I assume there are plans to clean very well that single room that will be used for everything.
Yes, actually the city's plan is to, well, there will be protocols adopted in all city buildings, including ours. One of the things is everyone's desk will have to be cleared off at the end of the day so everything can be sanitized by the cleaning crews. But that room will be sanitized every time it's used prior to any future use. Other questions? Yes.
Amanda.
One of the areas, I mean, when we do get to the point where we're going to have doors open to the public, that area in the front where customer service is, are we looking at something that, some sort of shielding or something for some of the gals that are, and guys that are working in that front area? Because I know a lot of those transactional meetings, when they're meeting with people and they're filling out paperwork, it's right there at their desk.
That's right. On occasions when we do when members of the public are inside the building, there will be shields put up there. We're planning to put the plexiglass shields there. We are planning though to make those meetings as few as possible so that we'll do everything online that we absolutely or by phone that we possibly can. So the idea is that front door will not be standing open, but it will be open to let people in by appointment. And we'll be able to keep track of who comes in case we ever need to know if there's any kind of an exposure, and we want to let our customers know that we may have had someone inside. One of our employees was sick. We want to be able to let people who were in the building know.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Jason.
So Vic, are we planning to continue to meet as a board remotely as long as it's permitted by the state?
I don't have any opposition to that. I think that's really up to the board. I think it works pretty well. I miss seeing you all in person, but as long as the state allows it, I think we'll probably continue to do it this way. If the board would rather we hold the meetings in person, we'll find a way to do that.
Okay. Anyone else? I just have one quick question in terms of just wanted to check in on all staff using masks when they have to be, within that 6 feet social distancing space. Is that going well? Do we have enough masks for everybody to be able to replace those? And how often are new masks being issued?
We have delivered cloth masks to all of our employees. We've actually ordered a second batch of them. They're washable and reusable, we have had a large supply of them. We are planning to get the paper surgical masks for the situations where members, if someone comes in for an appointment, they'll need to wear a mask inside the building. If they don't have one, we'll be able to get them one. But we continue to look for good quality cloth masks that we can continue to distribute to the staff. And right now we have, I think we brought in about 150 more last week, and we continue to do that. We have a very limited supply of N95 masks. We keep those for the, fortunately, extremely rare, and we haven't had this situation yet, but in the event that we have a circumstance where we need to have PPE for someone to go into a place where it's highly likely someone has been infected, then we need to have the additional PPE. So we're trying to hold on to the very small number of N95 masks that we have.
Okay, excellent. And I also am curious and concerned, I think it's so important that all of our staff are wearing masks consistently when, they have to be working close to each other or in the same vehicle. But I also know that, masks can be somewhat uncomfortable, kind of stuffy. Are staff doing okay with tolerating masks? I mean, obviously they're wearing them, so they're tolerating them, but.
They're uncomfortable for all of us, but we do remind people about it on the occasion that they're not wearing a mask. We are doing everything we can to make sure that they do, and we will continue to be vigilant about that.
Okay, thank you so much.
I have one more thing.
Oh, yes.
And that is last Monday, a week ago today, we began the demolition of the Griffey plant, and I got pictures. Oh, Latrina, can you let me have screen sharing, please?
Absolutely.
I promise it's worth it.
We've been waiting for this for a long time.
Okay, can everyone see it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you to James Hall for giving me these pictures today. They look great. And James, if you turn your mic on, you can jump in if you have anything to say about any of it.
Okay.
They began, the last time I was there were 4 excavators on site. A couple of them are these really big ones. So is this the first scoop, James?
Yeah, and this was we're removing the contaminated mercury soil there out on the east side.
So this is out in front of the door.
Correct.
This is just more, this is removing the lintel from on top of the door. So they carefully removed it, and I believe they labeled all the parts for reassembly in its future home.
Yeah, it's at Bleacher right now.
It's coming down pretty fast, so if you want to see it, you better hurry. Here, they're peeling off that soffit here, that copper soffit. It's going to be, that's scrap metal.
And just, I try to screen out any pictures that had vulgar language, but there may be some on the side of the building, so.
I didn't even think of that, James, and there's plenty of it. So this is all from last week as they started to take it down. The building has a huge amount, the perfect timing. Look at all the rebar in that building. There's a lot of very large rebar in the building. It was, one of our contractors suggested that rebar must have been cheap in 1924. That's a lot of rebar. So as they continue, this is the old clear well. This is the first clear well water storage basin under the plant. This one's 500,000 gallons. Is that right, James?
Correct.
Wow.
And now this is from the viewing it from the north as they're beginning to take it down. And now this one is from the back of the building as they're taking off that veneer limestone at the back. And as it continues to come down, you can see big piles of rebar, and they're removing all the rebar with an electromagnet to be salvaged, take to JV salvage. And these are great pictures, action shots.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's quite an operation.
Yeah.
I think that's the last one. Yeah, that's the last one. So we just wanted to share with you the progress on the project. It's coming along pretty rapidly, and up to now we haven't found anything unexpected. And James, can you say a word or two about contaminants that have been found so far?
Yeah, so like Vic said, we haven't found anything that we didn't already identify from all the pre-screening. We did a lot of work up front. We're in the process of separating the different hazards material. Most of the stuff that we have found have been able to go to Rumpke. We have a couple shipments tonight or this week that will go to the Michigan disposal that was approved tonight. That's kind of PCB lead waste. And then we're hoping towards the end of this week, we'll be ready to send some of the PCB paint piping to Heritage Environmental. So, but I'm expecting most of the building to be torn down by the end of this week. They've already made a lot of progress today. That doesn't include getting all the piping out of the sub basement and everything, but everything you see above ground could have a good chance of being gone by the end of this week.
Excellent. Yes, Amanda.
There. Sorry about that. Are we still having to provide security on site while the demolition is taking place?
No, the demolition contractor took that over. Actually, he hired the same people, but the demolition contractor took that over.
But it's not at our it probably is part of our expense, but built into the demolition.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Jim.
Oh, thank you. This is for Vic. On some of the pieces that we're saving that will be rebuilt or added at another site, was there any need for decontamination of those pieces that we're going to save, or were they out of the field of toxicity?
James? I'll let James.
No, they were fine. There was no contamination on the outside part of the building that we had found. We had tested a few spots, and in particular that lintel. All it had on it was some purple spray paint, and nothing that we tested with the spray paint had any kind of contamination on it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, I'm not seeing
Megan
any.
had a comment.
Oh, go ahead, Megan.
Sure. I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing those photos. I think that's really interesting to look at. It reminded me of, I used to teach first grade at Fairview, and I was there when the old school was torn down and the new one was built. And so I think it's really neat to see, buildings in our community that are so old. And you might not want to now to not encourage people to go out there and look at it be torn down, but I think it would be neat to post on the utilities Facebook page at some point, if you probably maybe already thought of that, but I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
I hadn't thought of that, but I'll pass them along to Holly.
Yeah, great idea. Well, and I just wanted to thank all of our staff that worked so long and so hard on making this happen and getting it to the point that we're actually finally starting, the tear down. I know it was a long road and a whole lot of work and back and forth, and so thank you so much for your hard work on this. All right. Well,
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vic. Next up then are any petitions and communications from the public. And Latrina or Holly, are there any?
No public comment or questions via Facebook.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, with that then, is there a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
So move.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all for attending.